that's a really great question. Let me show you what we know so far. So we know that chronic stress and trauma impact the way our brains develop. And this is in regards to the architecture of our actual brain and the way we grow. So an example that you can think about is at certain ages, we learn to do certain things and our brains build that part of their structure. So if you experience trauma, for example, between the ages of 9 and 12, you probably will have a hard time sustaining attention and focus. So you might be more likely to end up having ADD or ADHD. It used to be that we thought adolescents fit this immature brain model. So we used to say things like, well, when you're a youth, it's because you really enjoy risk-taking and you're an adrenaline junkie and that's why you do the things you do. And there were some impulse control issues and decision-making skills being underdeveloped. There was a lot of language we used around how adolescents and their brains functioned. And the new way of thinking about it is to use this adaptive adolescent model. And that's what our programming here at CRC is based on, adaptive adolescence. Because what we're really saying is, kids are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. That at this age, you're supposed to be figuring out who you are in this world. And that isn't being a risk-taking adrenaline junkie. That's about making really calculated risk-benefit analyses that don't match with the same criteria that adults use when they make a risk-benefit analysis. Here's another way to think about both of those concepts put together. Between the ages of 3 and 6, you're getting all kinds of brain growth in one particular area. So you're learning attention and vigilance and alertness. You're getting that frontal circuit. And then between the ages of 7 and 15, you've got all of this other stuff, language and spatial relations and math skills. And then when you hit 16, you actually lose brain tissue. You start to decrease the amount of synapses that you're growing. And that's on purpose. Because what we now know is that when you're in that adolescent age, what you're really doing is figuring out which of those brain pathways and neural networks make sense for you and are going to be helpful to you in this world. So when we talk about concepts like reflective learning and reflective listening, what we're really teaching youth how to do is to identify who they are and who they want to be and to talk about that, articulate it, write it down, and work with that information, because that's what's really helping them learn how to take more responsible risks, how to engage in decision-making skills that are healthy. Some of the other benefits that we know from conflict resolution education, the way that we do it here at CRC, is that we actually teach emotional regulation. We help with those emotional social learning skills that a lot of youth who have experienced trauma and homelessness don't have or haven't learned from their families. Another thing we know is that we're teaching them this awareness of the impact of their actions on themselves and others. And that ability to understand how you fit into a larger whole is a really great way to help kids build resiliency. Because what they hear in that message is that they are part of a community. And we know that one of the biggest factors for building resilience in kids is time spent with caring adults who help them grow and learn and develop.